So today what we're going to do is we're going to do dimensional analysis, and we're going to do it with a rate or a ratio, okay, where you just the other day we worked on just one quantity, like grams to pounds, okay? Now we're going to look at something slightly different. We're going to look at a rate, okay? So here is the first example, okay? So nothing really new, just we're going to do it's the same idea, okay? So an object is moving at a speed of 230 feet per week, okay? So that's a rate because it's comparing two units. It's comparing feet and week, okay? So we can write this as a ratio, all right? So this could be written as 230 feet over 1 week. And we're gonna start with that. And I'm going to abbreviate the units. Okay, so all these are the abbreviation of the units, like YD for yard, FT for feet. Okay, so 230 feet per week means 1 week. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with, and we're going to convert it to another unit. And what we want to convert it to is speed, and this is a physics thing, so that's why I'm teaching you this. Okay, we want to convert it to inches per minute. Okay, so inches per minute. Okay, so I want to get to at the end, all right, what I want to get to is inches over minute. That's the units I want at the end. Inches, because that's the abbreviation for inches, okay, and minute. So I want to go from feet per week to inches per minute, okay? So here we go. So I'm going to start with this one that was given to us. Okay, so 230 feet over 1 week, right? Okay, now for multiplication, you can use parentheses. Some of you guys were asking me that on a remind. Okay, you can use parentheses. You can also use a dot. You can also use the X. I'm fine with that too, okay? It could be either way. I don't really like the X. It's just the math teacher coming out at me, okay, because we use X for a variable, and so it gets a little confusing, but I'm fine if you do that, all right? Okay, we want to concentrate on just converting one unit at a time, okay? So we want the time unit, okay? So the time unit right now is weeks. We want to change it to minutes, okay? So we look on here, okay, do we have anything with weeks? Yeah, we have this one, right? And you probably already know this one, okay? 1 week is the same as 7 days, okay? Now, I want to cancel weeks, and right now, weeks is in the bottom. So to cancel it, I need the weeks to be on top, and I know 1 week and 7 days are the same thing, okay? So I'm going to multiply this by, okay, I know 1 week, so I'm going to write 1 week up here, and over 7 days. And it wouldn't matter. I mean, I started with the time unit. You could have started with the distance unit, okay? So what do I know right now? Okay, so I know this week right here is going to cancel with this week right here. And the units I have, if I actually did the multiplication and the division of this, the units I would have are feet per day. Now, I don't want feet per day. I want inches per minute. Okay, so now I got to keep going, okay? So the days, all right, what I want to multiply by, okay, I want to now cancel days. So I know 7 days is 1 week, but that's going to take me backwards to weeks, and I don't want that, okay? How about 1 day, 24 hours? Yeah, 1 day is 24 hours. So I can get this to not be days anymore. I can get it to be hours, okay? So times 1 day over 24 hours. And I'm going to use HR for hours. HR for hours. There we go. Okay. And so now this day cancels with this day and that's why I put days on top here, is because I want the days to cancel. And the only way to cancel is you have day over day. And that's what you have here. If you multiplied it, it'd be day over day. That makes a 1. Okay. All right, so what do we have right now? Because the days canceled, now I have feet per hour, okay? I want inches per minute. Well, I know from this one, right, from this one right here, that 1 hour is the same as 60 minutes. So I can convert this hour to minutes because of this right here. So what I'm going to multiply by now is 1 hour Now, why am I putting it on top? Because I want the hours to cancel. Okay. And 1 hour is the same as 60 minutes. Okay, so now this hour cancels with this hour. And what are we left with? Well, now we have feet per minute. We're halfway there, guys. We're halfway there. Okay. So what we have is feet per minute. What do I want? I want it to be in inches per minute, right? So now I got to take this feet over here, way over here at the beginning, right? And I need to get it to be in inches. Well, do I know anything? Yeah, I know right here that 1 foot is the same as 12 inches. So I can take feet because of this right here. I can convert it to inches. Okay. So now I'm going to multiply by, okay. And because the feet are on in the numerator here, the top, right? I want feet to be in the bottom. So it's going to be 1 foot and 12 inches on top. Okay. And now I know, because if I were to multiply this, I have feet on top and I'd have feet on bottom, and that would make a 1. So those are going to make a 1. So I'm going to cancel it out. Okay. And what are the units that I have out of this? Well, if I were to multiply all this way across, the top would be inches. And if I multiplied all of these together, the bottom would be in minutes. And I'd have inches per minute. Okay. So now it's a matter of putting this into our calculator. Okay. So I'm going to go to the calculator right now, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can put this in. I'm going to use a graphing calculator because that's what I have, but I want to show you how can you do this if you don't have a graphing calculator that has a fraction bar feature. Okay. So I'll show you that too. Okay. All right. So we'll go and we'll do that on the calculator, and then we'll come back and write our answer. So in your on your calculator, depending on what type of calculator you have, if you have a graphing calculator, you could press alpha X to get the fraction bar. And then what you want to do is just go across and type in the top. So our problem had 230 times 1 times 1 times 1 and then times 12. Now, you wouldn't need to type in all these ones, because anytime you multiply by 1, it's the same number. So really, in the top here, you'd only have to type in 230 times 12, okay? And then the bottom was, or denominator would be 1 times 7 times 24 times 60. And then times 1. And again, you wouldn't have to have the ones, right? You wouldn't have to have this first one and this last one. You could just type in 7 times 24 times 60, okay? So if you have a calculator, whether it's a scientific or graphing calculator that has the ability to do this fraction bar, I would do it this way, okay? And then you press enter for equals, and there it is, okay? So our answer is 0.2738095,238, and it probably has a lot more digits than that, okay? Now, you don't have a graphing calculator, you just have a scientific calculator. Okay, there's another way to do this, but what you have to do is tell what the numerator is. So you have to put parenthesis, okay, and then you type in. Now this time I'm going to leave off the ones, okay? So 230 and then times 12, because we don't need all those ones. And I'm going to close the parenthesis, okay, and then divide, and then start another parenthesis. Now what you're doing is you're telling the calculator to do the numerator and get an answer for that, and do the denominator and get an answer for that, and then divide it. It's order of operation, okay? All right, is what you're doing. Okay, so then the denominator would be, I'm going to leave off this first one, so 7 times 24, and then times 60, close the parenthesis, press enter, and we get the same answer, okay? So just two different ways of doing it, okay? You don't need to go out and buy an expensive calculator to do this. Any scientific calculator will do this with the parentheses correctly, okay? All right. Okay, so at the very top, we knew we wanted to be in the hundredths, right? So that means 2 decimal places. So after the decimal, the hundredths is 2 decimal places. Okay. So from our calculator, we got, and I'm not going to write all of the digits out. Okay. We got 0.2738, and I went more than 2 just to see what's going on. Okay. Dot, dot, dot. Okay. That just means it continues. My units are inches per minute, right? Okay. Now, if I want to round to the 100th place, I need to look at the 3rd decimal place, which is this one right here, the 3. Well, because that's not 5 or bigger, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to keep it 0.27. So my final answer to this, and the one you'd want to type into Delta Math, is 0.27 inches per minute. Okay. And that's how fast this object is moving. Okay. Now you're thinking, well, that's pretty slow, maybe. Okay. Yeah. But you can use like the San Andreas Fault. Okay. It's moving really, really slow. It's moving, but it's moving really, really slowly. Okay. So there's things out there that move slow, or that you can't even perceive that they're moving actually. Okay. That's physics, guys. All right. That's physics. All right. Okay, so let's finish this up and let's go to the next problem. Okay, so for this next example, we have water flows through a pipe at a rate, so it's a rate, 6,300 liters every 8.5 months, okay? So those go together, okay? So that's the rate that we're gonna start with, 6,300 over, and then it's not 1 this time, it's actually 8.5 months, okay? We would know it's 1 month if it said per month, okay? So the way to write this, all right, is we could write this as 6,300 liters, I'm using the abbreviation for liters, over 8.5 months. Okay, so what do we want to switch this to? We want to express this rate of flow in cubic feet per hour, okay? So cubic feet per hour, okay? So our time unit's going to be hours, okay? But our volume, okay, and this liters is volume, okay? Cubic feet would be feet cubed with a little 3 right there, okay? Like cubics, okay, and squares, okay? So cubed feet per hour, and that's what this one converts to, okay? And I'm going to say this, we want to go to the 100th place, so that's 2 decimal places again, okay? And again, you just want to start and work on one unit, get that to the unit you want, and then start working on the other unit, okay? All right, so here we go, all right? So we have 6,300 liters over 8.5 months. Okay, and then times. Okay, so let's work on it doesn't matter which one you start you start working on first. It doesn't matter, okay? I want to change the liters to cubic feet, okay? So let's take a look at some things, okay? So this goes from liters to gallons. Okay, and then this one goes from liters to cubic meters. Okay, I don't want cubic meters, I want cubic feet, okay? This goes from liters to milliliters. Probably don't want to use that one. Gallons to cubic feet, okay? So wait, this one went from liters to gallons. Okay, so I could use that to go from liters to gallons. And then I could use this one to go from gallons to cubic feet. Okay, so I want to use this one. And I also want to use this one, okay? So those are the 2 I want to use. I have more in here than you need, okay? All right, so I want to cancel the liters. So I know from this one that 3.785 liters, and I want that to be on the bottom so the liters cancel, is the same as 1 gallon. So 1 gallon on top and 3.785 liters on the bottom. Okay, so if I cancel units right now, this liter would cancel with this liter, all right? And what we would have is gallons per month. Okay, we would have gallons per month. So what do I want to multiply by? Now I want to get it to be cubic feet, right? Cubic feet. So if I use this one, I can change this gallons to cubic feet using this, okay? So there's my next conversion, okay? So I know 7.481 gallons, and I want the gallons on the bottom, so the gallons would cancel. So 7.481 gallons is the same as 1 cubic foot. So 1 cubic foot. So now this gallon will cancel with this gallon. And what would we be left with? We'd be left with feet cubed on top, which is, that's what we want, right? Over months. I don't want months, I want hours, okay? So how do I go to convert this to hours, right? Because that's what I need to do now, okay? So I need to multiply by another conversion factor. Okay, so months. Okay, so this is the month right here. I know 1 month is 30 days. Now I know sometimes it's 31, okay, and sometimes 28, okay, and sometimes 29, okay, depending on the month. This is just, I would say this is an average, just so we're all doing it the same way, okay? So just for the sake of argument, let's say 1 month is 30 days, okay? All right, so here we go. Where do I want the months? Well, because the months are in the denominator here, I want them in the numerator for the conversion factor, okay? So I have 1 month and 30 days. So 1 month on top, 30 days on the bottom. Okay, so this month cancels with this month, right? Because this is the month on bottom, this is the month on top, cancels, right? What do we have now? We have cubic feet on top. And what do we have on the bottom? We have days. I want hours, right? Well, once again, we know 24 hours is 1 day. So I can use this to convert days to hours, and I'll have it, okay? So I'm going to multiply by, okay, now I want days on top so they cancel. Okay, so I know 1 day is the same as 24 hours. 1 day, 24 hours. Okay. So this day cancels with this day, right? Because they're on top and numerator and denominator. And if you look going across, we have cubic feet on top. That's the only unit that's left on top. And in the bottom, in the denominator, all we have left for a unit is hours. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to go to the calculator again. I'm going to show you once again how you can put this all into your calculator and get an answer real quick. Okay? So let's go to our calculator and we'll put that in. So for this one, again, do the fraction bar, okay? And then 6,300. And then we don't need that 1. And so times, and then it would just be 1, right? So we could actually, let me go back. And I forgot there was only 6,300, right? Because 6,300 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. So for our denominator, it's 8.5. And then times, and then 3.785. And then times 7.481. And then times 30. And then times 24. And press enter or equals, and you get 0.036354951. Okay, another way you can do this is start with a parenthesis, 6,300, close a parenthesis, divide, parenthesis, and then 8.5 times 3.785 times 7.481 times 30 times 24, and then close a parenthesis for the denominator, and then you can press enter, and look, you get the same exact answer. Okay, so just two different ways of doing typing in the calculator. Okay, most of you probably will do the parentheses. Okay, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, so that's it. Let's go back and write our answer on the paper. Okay, so from our calculator, we got 0.03635 ... Okay. And what were the units on this? Well, it was cubic feet over, and the denominator is hours. Okay, so that's the units on it, and so it's the correct units for hours. Now, again, I asked you to round to the nearest hundredth. Hundredth is 2 decimal places, okay? So that means I need to look at the third decimal place, which is this 6 right here, right? So that's the third decimal place. It's 5 or larger, so we need to round this 3 up by 1. So this becomes 0. It's actually, what it is it's closer to 4 than it is 3. Okay, so that's why we're going to make it 4. So this is equal to 0.04 cubic feet per hour, okay? And that's it. That's how you convert rates, okay? Now, see, physics has a lot to do with speed, okay? There's a technical term for speed called velocity, okay? And I don't want to get into that right now, but that's why we need to be able to do this, because we're going to deal with basically speed, right? Miles per hour. That's a rate, just like this feet cubed per hour is, okay? And we're going to need to deal with that. And a lot of times, the only speed that we really have a good understanding of is miles per hour. So it always helps us to know, does our answer even make sense if we can convert it to miles per hour, because we have a feeling for what miles per hour is, right? Because we drive. That's the only reason, okay? If we were in Europe, we wouldn't understand what miles per hour is. It'd be kilometers per hour. Or if you've been to Mexico, kilometers per hour. That probably, if you were raised in Mexico, because they are on the metric system, they're smarter than us in that fact, okay? Then you'd have a better understanding of that than miles per hour. So maybe for you to understand it, you'd convert it to kilometers per hour, okay? All right, so that's how you do it, guys. And that's it for today.